Hi guys, Rachel with Spunky Misfit Girl here, and today I have a project for you that was pretty fun to make. I really enjoyed myself with it. And this was inspired by Lori Maker. I'm not sure how you say it, but it was the first time I had come across something from her channel. So new creator, and it is a super cute little envelope. It's all envelopes in here. Look at how cute this looks. So, I mean, I didn't go hog wild with decorating it or anything, but you could, put pockets in here too. But all these envelopes are just cute little pockets. And this is a super fun little make. Again, you could do a lot more decorating. I kept it pretty simple. If I had it to do again, which I do, I would probably ink my my little spine things here. But that's what this guy looks like. Super cute. Let's get to it. So you're gonna need, so I mean, really you could do this, well, actually, no, it would change the size. So we're gonna do it with 4 envelopes today. So you'll need 4 envelopes of the same size. And I am using these craft envelopes that I have that are extras. You could use junk mail envelopes if you had ones that were all the same size. For this, I am going to cover all of these too. So, you could do the same with junk mail envelopes. And then you're gonna want 2 pieces of cardstock for your covers, which I do have here somewhere. I'm using some Pink Monarch papers for this because I liked how they turned out on this one too. So you want those cut just slightly larger than your envelopes. So you can see I did mine just really just like a tiny 1/8 inch or even less. 2 of those for your covers. And then you're gonna need a piece of cardstock that is 11 inches long. So from a 12 by 12 probably. And then, although I guess you could use it from an 8.5 by 11 as well. And A4 is maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't know. And then you're gonna want it cut. So it's 11 inches long, and then you're gonna want it cut to the same height as your envelopes, right? So that's where we're gonna start. And we are gonna start actually with that piece of cardstock because this is gonna be your little interior holder for your book, basically, your method of binding. So I've actually inked already all the way around it. And so the first thing we're gonna do is score every 1/2 inch. And so y'all know I'm still in need of a scoreboard. I did this. The thing is like you can do it in here. This is 1/2 inch right here. So now I'm here. And the way I did it for the other one, but the problem is I have my little thing in here, and I've had a number of other people tell me you can do it in here in your groove. But the problem is if I don't have this down, I'm not straight. There's no way I'm getting straight. So I have done it this way in the past with I actually don't know. I think I'm gonna try, it might be easier. Well, no, because you can't, the thing is it doesn't naturally go into that groove. So we're gonna try it this way. This is the way I did it for the other one. And if you have a scoreboard, just use your scoreboard, it's a lot easier. And I'm gonna get one soon. Because like honestly, for projects like this, you just need it. So I'm just using my bone folder inside here like this. And we're gonna do that at every half an inch. So I'm just going to 1, and I am going to have to turn this around the other way. Now, so that I can get my measurements. Okay, so this guy was at 5, that guy was at 1, so now we're going to 1.5, and hoping this works properly, because I don't want to muck it up for the video. I mean, it's not the end of the world if these aren't perfect. It's still going to make a beautiful little book. I will tell you, definitely with the one I already made, those were not perfect scores. They were not perfect folds. And it is still a really beautiful little book that I'm very pleased with. So, but it definitely will make your life easier and nicer if you have a scoreboard. And I just have been trying to catch up financially lately, so I just really haven't been buying anything but the bare minimum, and that has meant no scoreboard. All right, 6 inches. I'm gonna run into a little bit of a mess here now. That's the other thing. Doing it on this thing is not perfect. It's really hard. I'm not convinced that that's actually the 1/2 inch, but that's what it says. 7.5 and 8 and 8.5. Uh-oh, my lights are going. The sunshine is going. I should have turned some lights on before I started. Might have to jump up and do that in the middle here. 10 inches, because this is a little bit of a, I think it's going to take a little while for this one. And that's the last one. Okay, hopefully that's good. And then you want to decide which one are you going to want on the outside. And it is maybe going to show. It's kind of up to you. I did cover it, but just with this little lacy stuff that's see-through. So you can see the paper that I used through it, which I think looks nice on this one. So it's up to you, but you want to know, you will be able to cover it up if you want with something, if you don't want it to show at all. But decide which one you want on the top to show. And then you're going to put that outside down. So I think I'm going to let this one show, because this one's just a little bit too busy. So this one's going to go on the inside. So you put that down, and then you're going to fold. So that first fold from the outside one goes up. Unfortunately, this paper, when you score it, and then you're just going to do back and forth. When you fold this paper, it does pull and tear a little bit. So I am going to ink all of my folds, I think, to make that look better. And again, like I said, this doesn't have to be super uber ultra perfect, although this does seem like it's turning out pretty well, pretty close. This time, maybe better than the last one that I made. Making ourselves a little fan. Just try to give it a little extra push to keep those tight each time. My other paper was not, my other paper that I used for this was from the same pack, but it wasn't quite as bad with this one's really getting torn up and a bit janky. Maybe should have used the other side. Maybe that would have worked out better on the top. But oh well, kind of too late now. That was a little bit of a weird one there. Maybe that was where I switched. Okay. I think that's okay, that's fine. So now this is gonna be our spine. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of inking here on these because I prefer those to not have that really white. White, where they're ripping. And some of these are gonna really show against that craft, the brown of my craft envelopes, so. Just get that in there. Particularly on those ones that are really whitening. Okay. Oh, that's fun and weird. Okay, and then, so what you're gonna wanna do is if you are using envelopes that you're gonna cover, you are gonna be popping these envelopes inside of these folds, right? And gluing. So when you're decorating, you're gonna cover up about 1/2 inch from the bottom. So for me, what I did, just because this is how I am, where did I put them? I prepped all my covers for my envelopes. So you're gonna want to measure your envelope covers away from, you've got different sizes. So these little skinny ones are for this, right? So they get a little bit of a border, but they're gonna, you know, I don't have to cover that piece because it's gonna get covered. So that's what I did to make these, to cover them up. So I just measured all of those, and then I also made ones for the top. So these are the backs. This is the inside. Where did I put the other two for the inside? Here's one. So there's actually 3 of those. Did I not do? I think I might have forgotten to do a last one, or maybe I planned to do it on camera. This one looks pretty close. This is pretty close. So let's also got this guy too. Oh no, I think that was the guy, and I just didn't. I don't know, he's a little big. And these are all Pink Monarch papers. I love these. I use them a lot. They're very pretty. And they're nice for decorating too. They're kind of, they make a nice, pretty background, but still being forgiving enough to do a lot of decorating on if you so choose. Okay, so at this stage, before you put everything together, is when I would, you know, do all your decorating of your envelopes. Another way you can do this is you could just do it with, you could make envelopes with decorative paper and then not have to fuss with doing all of this and covering them. But, you know, that's more than half the fun anyway, right? So why would we want to do this? I think doing this with junk mail would be actually really grand. A lot of fun. Turning trash into a little treasure. Okay, so that one's ready too now. And I'm just gonna add all of these to my envelopes before I put them into my spine, because I think will be easier that way. Once they're in there, it's a little harder to maneuver with them. And I just use tape on these, and I'm not bothering with also gluing them because this is just a little project I'm doing for fun and for the video, and so it doesn't really need to be buttoned up time 1,000 for selling. I might still put it in my little shop when I go vending. Sometimes people are attracted to these little weird things that I do. Okay. And then on the back, same is true, that 1/2 inch is going to be covered, but it's a little bit bigger, so I cut them to a slightly bigger size. And I just have to make sure I put it on so that the side that's going into the spine is this side that's open. Right? So a little bit like this. Just make sure that I still have you. Yeah. Yeah. It's gotten a little cloudy here this afternoon, so the sun keeps going behind the clouds and worrying me that I'm going to lose my light. Okay. It is fairly late in the afternoon on a Saturday too, so it's fairly far down in the sky too. There we go. And then this guy. And our flaps will do as well, and then we'll put everything together. Okay. So what have we got here for flaps? For this one, I want something different. I don't want to use the same. And then for the flaps, I usually just glue. I like that because it's easier than taping something this shape. And these I just cut out. I didn't fuss too much with the curvy sides. I just cut them out in a rectangle shape, basically inside, you know, to the size of the inside of the flap, and then rounded the corners. Since these envelopes are like that, it might be a little trickier if you have a different kind of envelope flap, but I was deliberately kind of trying not to fuss too much. Oops, I should have put this other one on the different one. So now I'm gonna have one that's the same. But oh well. And I mean, like, you could do a lot more with this too. I'm keeping it pretty simple just for the purposes of having the video be pretty quick, but it'd be a lot of fun to decorate these to the nines too. You know, decorate each envelope with a little something. You could make it a theme of some kind. Like if you were, this would be a great way to do kind of a personalized gift for a birthday or for Father's Day or Mother's Day. Or for Christmas, you can make them Christmas themed. And then put little notes. You could do the 12 days of Christmas and do 3 of them so that you have 12 envelopes overall. That'd be fun. Somebody would have something to open for 12 days. Okay, so we've got our spine here, and we've got our envelopes ready to go in. So then we're going to glue our envelopes in. So we decided that this was going to be the inside. So we're going to come in and we're going to skip 2 valleys. And we're going to put our first envelope in to that 3rd valley, just like this, right? So I'm going to decide, I think I'll do these this way. So this is a bit tricky with our glue, but so we want 1, 2, 3, valley number 3, and we're going to glue kind of both sides of this 3rd valley, and then slide this guy in here. And this can get a little bit overly gluey, so you just want to get that in there and then get it onto this side. And it's a little bit of a fuss when you're making it as you're putting these guys in here, but it turns out really, really nicely. So I'm just kind of gonna grab that one out of here, give it a push down on both sides. And now I realize that I inked the outside and it was actually the inside that I wanted to ink. And I didn't do that. Silly girl. Oh well. Now that I've glued this one in, I'm not gonna make it look different on the others. Okay, so then for the second one, you're gonna skip 1 valley and you're gonna glue in the next one. I'm gonna put this, I'll try to lay it into the back first and then get my second one up in there. I think that works a little better. It's a little tricky. Okay. Make sure my ends are in the right place. That's the most important thing right now. And then I'm gonna just run my thumb on the inside there to kind of get that down. Okay. And then again, skip a valley, go to the next one, and let's glue. Slide that into the back, I think. Get that back on there. And then we can pull this one up. Second. Okay. That works. Grab, 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 grab. I glue to grab. And again, 1 more valley skipped. And we're gonna go in here to the next one and put this guy, last envelope, in, slide it into the back first. Make sure that one's pulled up against it there, and then pull that second one in the front up with my fingers. Hopefully you can kind of see how I'm doing that. This is not a big deal, like I said. However you can get it in there, it's a little bit tricky. You don't have to do the way that I'm doing it. If you can find a a better way to kind of get those in there. It will turn out looking nice. I promise. And then you should have 2 more valleys on the outside here. So you've got your envelopes now all in there just like that, with 2 valleys on each end. And those glued in there. And now we're gonna go to our back and we're gonna take a look. Basically, we're gonna find the ones in between our envelopes and we're gonna glue those together, right? So all of these little guys here are gonna go together. And I'm just gonna put a line of glue on one side for these, and then just slide them together. Try to avoid getting glue everywhere, all over the outside of it. Okay. And then we're gonna do the next one here too. This probably isn't the best way to do this so that you can see. Just need the glue to grab a little bit here. And then we've got this one too, or maybe this is the way to do it. So you can see me. I glue there, and just one more envelope, 2 more steps. So we get this guy here. Put that one on top. That one's a little bit bigger than the others. It does get a bit gluey at this stage, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you would really realistically be able to use tape on this. You could try it. Tell me how it goes. But that seems like that would be very difficult to me, especially with my imprecise crafting methods. I don't know. Glue or tape needs a certain kind of accuracy that I don't think this project really lends itself to. Okay, at least not for me. There we go. Our backs are together. Make sure that our insides haven't glued themselves together in the process of doing that. Right? So now you've got it looking basically like this. So now we can glue in our covers. So on our front valley, first valley here, I think I made this guy the cover the last time. I think I might go for this one this time, just to give it a little bit of a different look. And we're just gonna glue it in the same way we did the envelopes. Both sides of our little spine guy. I'm gonna slide it into the back where I want it. Ooh, it is maybe a little bit taller. That's okay. Get it centered on there. And get my back in there too. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a little more ink on that outside here. And then I'm gonna put the back on. Same way, in that outside valley. Both pieces here. Glue bottle's a little fussy. It's a little empty. And then this guy is gonna go on like this. And I need to ink my outer edge because I wasn't sure. I might need to ink my outer edge on the other one too, although I think I did it just in case because I knew I wasn't sure which one I was going to use for the back and which one for the front. Just get that to lay down nicely and ink it up a little bit more. And we will ink that outside edge. All right. Make sure we're good on our setup here. Yeah. Coming together. Okay, so this is your little book here. And now we can glue the rest of the back together with our covers in. So all of these valleys that you didn't glue before get glued now. And actually, I think I'm gonna do a couple of them and just pull the whole thing down. So that this one goes down and then this one goes down and they go on top of each other. And grab that glue on both of those empty ones. Give that a second. And that is pretty close to it. The thing that I did that Lori didn't do was give this a closure because I kind of didn't like how it just will pop open on its own. I wanted it to have a closure and I wanted it to feel like a journal almost, even though it's just a series of pockets. So I liked the idea of having a closure. The thing you just want to be careful of is the glue on the top and bottom too, because that can end up gluing your pieces together. And I can see already that I have glue coming up on the top here. So I just want to make sure that I open up my insides and I'm not gluing those together accidentally as I'm trying to glue my back together here. So at this stage is when I put the closure on. So I'm going to do that on this one too because I liked how that turned out. So I'm just going to give it about yay much. And then we'll decorate over the top to cover up how that's put on there. I just really love how these look. And actually I'm liking that spine quite a lot too. That paper turned out better than I thought it would. It looks nice against this. Although it is there's a lot of white in there, as you can see. I'm just gonna hold this for a little bit just to make sure it all grabs, especially now that I already put that closure on there. So you just want to make sure that it's kind of all getting glued up together in there. Okay. What do we want to do at the front of this guy? Let's look at what I did here. Maybe we can make it reflective. I have quite a lot of bits and bobs here that might, ooh, that one's a little too much. What do I have for varying? I think I was looking and experimenting with some other things too. This pretty paper. Ooh, kind of like that. And I had these out as I think like possibilities. Something like that. Where did my stickers go? I have these little, I've been using these little label-like stickers. Ooh, I have some new ones. That's kind of cool. I don't know if it matches the color scheme really. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do here. So if you want to cover up your spine, this is the stage at which to do so. You know, I actually just used this closure automatically. I actually have this new ribbon that I just got that I thought I was holding this up to the other one before the video and it looked pretty awesome. So I think I'm going to do that. And then that covers up my spine anyway, right? So that covers up all your, if your folds didn't work out properly, if your paper got white and just problematic like that, then you have this beautiful thing that just covers it all. I'm going to put it on here because I don't really know exactly how far it will go when I put it in here. Can kind of jigger it because I want it to be a little bit more on the front probably. It's okay if there's a little bit less on the back. I want the front to look nice. It's not really totally even. But that's also okay. That's pretty. I like it. I think doesn't quite have enough glue to the edge here, so I'm gonna have to give it a little more. I don't want to overdo it though, because sometimes this ribbon is thin enough that it just goes right through and then it looks bad. So anyway, that's the substance of it. I mean, there's no more to do on the structure. I'm going to trim that off the top a little bit. But I'm going to go on and decorate the cover a little bit more. So if you want to pop off now, you're more than welcome to. I will just remind you to sign up for my email list for discounts and freebies. And the link is in the description. Please also like and subscribe if you're enjoying my videos. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. If you're sticking around to decorate with me, That's cool too. Let's do a little something here. So I want labels. I've got some butterflies. I've got these really pretty butterflies too that I could see being a nice addition to this guy, this green especially. You know, maybe a couple of those in here somewhere. My fingers are so gluey. This is the third video I filmed today, and I'm now officially sticky glue woman. Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't know if I want it on there, but that's a cool little guy. So I was originally looking for these little labels that I have that are kind of like this one that I've been liking, just as part of a little collage. So let's get, I think we've got some good elements here. Can start to make something that will ultimately please us, right? Something like this maybe. I mean, I don't know that I want to cover up the entirety of this beautiful paper underneath, but yeah, I kind of want something like that. This guy is weird. He's a little almost fabric-y. I think he's going to be hard to rip. Thinking something along the order of this. I don't know. We could get this guy in the middle here. And this guy down here. I'm gonna give this guy a rip down here too. Like that. Like that. Maybe we should go here. So I'm a little there. Yep. That'll bring it all together a little better. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut these little guys out with my little sewing scissors. And I'm going to ink everything. You know, I mean, the way that I got started doing this was actually by just literally making little mixed media collages like this. And I still just, it's just a love of mine. You know, I used to do stuff like this on people's birthday presents that I was giving people. I just wrap them in craft cardstock and cover it up with some kind of beautiful collage. And people would hate opening gifts from me because they were pretty. So let's get this guy on there. But I just always felt like, you know, whatever. I'm like a little kid just playing around. I didn't ever really consider it to be something that I could, you know, make something out of in a real way. So I'm so pleased. that you're here enjoying this with me. And, you know, we can just hang out of an afternoon together, making some things. Okay, well, I'm gonna put that guy there. What did I do? This guy here, kind of over here more. And then my butterflies are stickers, but they should probably get some glue too because the adhesive isn't that strong. Yeah, I like that. These are both such lovely little works of art, right? Should I flip that? Should I put the big one down here? I should. I think that's clear. There's a little one up here. I might have another big one of that same color, but it might take me a very long time to find it. If I do, I think it's maybe not in here. I had another roll, I think, whole roll of those butterflies because I love them and I was really using them a lot in the beginning. So I don't know if I should I think I should take the background off because it is visible, but then put glue on top of the adhesive, which is a little awkward. My poor fingers. The thing is, these can be pretty tricky to get off of here, so with my gluey fingers especially. There we go. Okay, Mr. Glue. Let's try this out. I actually don't know if I've done this before. And I'm gonna put this guy here. I love it. I love it. Somebody's gonna want this baby. Somebody's gonna fall in love with it. Say, oh, I can put all the cute little things in those envelopes, and it's beautiful. All right. This guy. Now don't delay my video, which is almost done. Little Mr. Butterfly, by being a pain in the butt. I've got it. I've just got it. There we go. Okay. Last one. Like I said recently, I'm really thinking about starting a Facebook group, so let me know if that would be a joy to you. If you would join me if I did. If you would share your projects there, if I did. I got a little too much glue on that one. That was a hard one. Let's get them down here. There. Oh, pretty. I am pleased with myself today. Making cute stuff. Yeah, there we go. We're going to call this, I don't know, something like an envelope pocket journal thing. I don't know if it can reasonably be called a journal. But we are now at almost the hour mark again. So I'm going to close that up for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.